Hi, everyone. It is April, and I'm here to show off our April club cards this month. I'm Betsy Crider with BCreative Stamping. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching this video. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's one of the things that I'm trying to build. So if you could do that, that would be a big thanks from me for doing that. And I hope you like our club cards and what we did in April. Um, I don't like these videos to be super long. It's just a real quick little insight into what we did and some tips and how we made the cards this month. But one of the things that I want to talk about is new catalog is coming up. So this is going to air on April 10th, Wednesday, April 10th, which will be the last day for my registration for my Stamp It Your Way class. It's also, which I can show you two of the cards for that. I don't have all four, but I have two of them. Stamp It Your Way. So if you're seeing this on Wednesday, the 10th, you might be able to sneak in at the last minute. So just contact me right away. Don't wait if you are interested in that. And I'll show you that in a second. I have an upcoming Stamp-A-Stack this Friday, the 12th. So if you haven't signed up for that, today's the deadline for that as well to get in so that we can make sure we have enough packets ready for you. That's in State College for the Stamp-A-Stack held in person on the 12th. Some other things coming up, just team stuff, but for anybody that's new here, what I do is I have an in-person club and we do 3 projects. And if you place a minimum $30 order with me during the month, then you'll get my club projects for that month. So I complete them for you. They're already done, and I just send them out at the end of the month. Once I see everybody's orders that have come in throughout the month. If you've placed a minimum $30 order with me, then I will send you a set of cards as my thanks. So if you have any questions about it, please let me know. All right, let's kind of get started. I'm going to switch this over here quickly, but I do want to bring in, because if you haven't already, or you should be getting very soon, the new annual catalog. So a lot of the projects I'm showing in April are actually going to be retiring product. Because I always like to, like the month before the new catalog goes live, when the new last chance list has come out, we know what is officially retiring from the annual catalog and the spring catalog. I like to kind of go through my box and through my sets and be like, okay, what hasn't seen ink yet, or what do I need to actually use yet? So April's always like trying to use up some sets that I haven't used actually in club yet. So I'm going to show you some retiring product when we make our club projects. But the new annual catalog is out. I should be getting mine, I think, this week, and hopefully have enough for everybody that wants them. So if you do not currently have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or anybody that, and you're interested in one of these catalogs, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to send you one. It's a fantastic just a crafty store. I mean, I would show you it, but I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to show you the inside quite yet. But when you get this, it's just full of yummy craftiness all over the place. There's so many great layouts and ideas. This is such an idea book. More than a shopping catalog, it's an idea book, and this one is one of the best I've ever seen. You can see it's got some it's very different, but you get it. Once you get it, you get it. It makes a lot of sense. It's just us, being together, right? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some stamping together. So, all right. So the first card we're doing tonight, I actually want to show you some of the products we're using, just so you know. So the first card we're going to be doing tonight is going to be featuring the Wildlife Wonder set. This is one that is going to be retiring. It's a great masculine set with the bear. You've got the wolf there and the owl. So this set is one of the ones we're going to be using tonight. Sending Smiles. I'm just using this one for the birthday wishes greeting. I tell you what, I use the greetings out of this a lot. This was one of my go-to greeting sets. I just love the fact that they're small, but they're clean. It's a really great set for like go-to greetings. So we're using the birthday wishes from this one, which is retiring. Now we're going to use the trees from Grassy Grove. This one is not retiring. This one is carrying over into the new catalog, Grassy Grove. I just wanted to use these trees. I thought they would look nice with that bear on the first card that we're doing. So that's the first set. And then the second card we're doing is going to use the Notes of Nature. Now, Notes of Nature has this die set that goes with it, and it's in the spring catalog. It's actually part of a whole suite, and there's another set that kind of goes with it. The other set is carrying over. This one is retiring, but it's a great one for making a collage, which is what we're going to do. We're going to use a couple of these just to create a nice collage background. And of course, the dies that coordinate with that. So that also is retiring. And then last is Oceanfront. I am going to use also Stylish Shapes. Stylish Shapes is not retiring, thank goodness. Oh my goodness, I use this die set a lot. Stylish Shapes, we just used a couple of the banner ones in some of the cards we're doing tonight. And then Gorgeously Made, I just used this one for the banner or for the greeting on the card that's going to be using the ocean front. This is the Gorgeously Made dies. This bundle is retiring. So this Gorgeously Made, which I love this torn paper look, that one is going away. That is retiring. Oceanfront is another one that is retiring. And this one, I had not inked it all yet. So I thought we definitely need to use it. And now I'm like, boy, I wish I'd have been using it more frequently. It's a really pretty set, and I can't wait for you to see the cards we're doing with it. So that's it. Those are the cards we're doing. Oh, I guess the greeting, I should show you this one too. The greeting is coming from Timeless Arrangements. We're just using the word thanks from this one, but this is a really nice greeting set. It has a lot of nice greetings. You can see the ones I've kind of been using there. This one also is retiring. Okay. So let's pull in the first card here. The first card, I use the folder. This is the basic, one of the basic online exclusive folders. There are like 3 of them that come together, and this is one of them. So you see that? So I went ahead and I pre-did that for us. That's already done in my here, but here's what the card looks like. So it's got the bear on the front, but it's got a nice unique fold because this goes this way and then that goes that way. Right? Cute, right? So it's super easy to do. So, but what I was trying to do was also trying to use up designer series paper. I try to use up because I'm a designer series paper hoarder. So I have a ton of it, and I'm trying to use up what I have that's going to be retiring. So I gave in club this month, I gave them choice. Like, so when they were making their bear card, they could kind of choose the designer series paper that was going behind it. So they had, I'm going to use this one tonight, the blue one, but then they had a gray. This one actually is from the I don't remember the name of the paper. It's the one with the fishing. It's got all the fish in it, the masculine fishing one. So that one is out of there. And then these ones I think are from the earthen textures, I'm thinking, paper. But it had like the really unique, different kind of texture looks on the background, and then it had these nice colors on the other side. So those are the papers we're using for this one. All right, so let me throw these out of the way so you can see how to do this. Of course, I have an envelope, 2 pieces of white that I'm going to be stamping. I've got my designer paper, and then I've got 2 pieces here. And for anybody that's asking or looking at this, so this piece is 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. And this one is 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. Okay, 3 1/4 by 8 1/2, 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. And what I want to do is I want to bring in my scoring tool here, my trimmer, and I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. So 4 1/4, I want to go ahead and score. And I'm going to do the same thing on both of these. Both of these are being scored at 4 1/4. All right. Easy. And then what happens is that this one gets folded in half, right? So there's the one, and then this one comes in and gets folded, and it's a little short, right? There you go. So you've got this piece. And what will happen is this one's going to go in here to open with the opening on the inside. Oh, sheesh. Ordered it so well, I can't get it open. There you go. So let's go ahead and put this together. It's super easy to do. This is a great layout for anything that you're doing. Think about any designer series paper that you had in the background here, any image that you wanted to stamp on the front. This makes it a nice kind of go-to card. So this piece that's going to go in here, I want the opening to the left, right? So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to add a little bit of extra glue on this one because it is going to be kind of moving a little bit. And I'm just centering this. So I'm centering that top, bottom, side, side, centering that. And then I'm just going to let that set that aside for a second and we'll bring in our stamping. So I'm going to bring in this one first. I'm going to do the bear, and I'm doing Pebbled Path, which is an in color that is still staying. I don't know why, but I've got glitter on my bear. I'm not quite sure where that came from. I'm going to ink that up. Now, what I find is that when my block is bigger than my ink pad, it's easier to ink it if you just put the stamp on the table and then ink it that way. Now, it looks like I've missed it, right? So it looks like the bear's not completely inked, but he actually is. It's one of the distinctive stamps. They have a lot of detail to them. I'm going to lean in a little bit here, and I'm kind of stamping up towards the top of this piece because my greeting is going to go down towards the bottom. So hold it there a second, give it a second, let it do its work, let the ink absorb, and there is my bear. Okay. Then I'm bringing in the gray granite, and gray granite's what I'm going to use for the ground that's below him. Now, I don't have a label on this, but do you see how it's got those little, like little indents? It's got a little swoop and a little swoop. That's where his paws are going to go in the ground. So I'm going to ink this up with a little gray granite. I'm actually going to cover this up a little bit and stamp right there where the ground is going to go. And actually what happened was several people at club this month, they actually did it twice. So I'm going to shift this up and down a little bit and stamped it twice. And it made it look more like actual dirt and ground when you did it twice. Isn't that cool? So that you got the different shades. It actually works out really well. We had made a mistake, but it worked out very, very well. And we liked it that way. I'm going to keep the gray granite out, and I'm going to use that for my envelope and my inside, and that's where the tree is going to come in. So I'm inking my trees. I'm going to add these, of course, to the envelope as well. Gray granite is done, can go away. This one's going to be the inside. And then the last thing I have here is my greeting. I've gone ahead and pre-cut this with the stylish shapes dies, and I'm going to stamp birthday wishes on here. But I'm going to end up trimming some of this off. So I'm going to stamp over to the left. So I'm going to ink with the Pebbled Path again, and I'm going to stamp over here towards the left. There we go, birthday wishes. And now my Pebbled Path can go away until a little later. I'll use it on another card later. Get these stamps out of my way so I don't put my hand in them. Okay, and now we can kind of put this together. I do want to show you one thing here. Actually, let me just put this in here. The embossed piece that's going to go on the front, I want to show you the difference here. And some people liked it one way versus another, but the nice thing is that people kind of have choice. You can kind of do it your own way, depending on how you might like to see it. This is going to go on the front. Cute bear. Okay. So take a look at this one. Okay. Now hold it up closer, a little bit closer for you, right? So this is the embossed background right here. Now, what I did was this is gray granite paper. So look at the difference. So here it is kind of bright. That's just the paper itself, just embossed. And that's what it looks like as the background, right? Oops. Did it go through? I think. There we go. Sorry about that. My phone all of a sudden connected and disconnected. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's showing you here where it is just the paper, right? The gray granite paper. But I liked it where it was like a little dirtier. Can you see the difference between the two? If you liked it light, some people liked it where it was brighter, and then some people liked it where it was like just a little bit of a darker tone. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one lighter just so again you can kind of see the difference. But what I did was I just took a blending brush and I just took a little gray granite ink and I just sponged it on there to give it that dirtier look, right? But it's one way or the other. It does not matter. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one as is. Add my liquid glue here. Put this on the front. There we go. It's just looking where they are at the moment. Okay. So there is my card. Look how easy. That went together so fast, right? And it's just got a really fun, unique fold. If it kind of feels like it's popping up at you, you can just hit it with your bone folder a little bit and then kind of give that a good crease and it'll lay a little more flat for you. Now I want to put my birthday wishes over here. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back, just where the greeting is. I'm not going to go over here because I'm going to end up trimming that off. So I'm going to bring this in, go to about there. Okay. But that, of course, is going to be in my way as I open that up. So I'm just bringing in my scissors, kind of lining it up with the white, and then just giving it a little trim. If you like it more precise, I'm one that just kind of wings it. I just wing it and it's fine. But if you would like that more straight, you could do that with a paper cutter or your scissors beforehand, lining it up. I just kind of make sure that it's not hitting over there on the side, and I'm good with that. So the only thing I'm missing here, and I don't see them on my desk, so I'm not quite sure where they went to, is I use the classic matte dots. The classic matte dots. Actually, I think they're in my Stamp-A-Stack bin now that I think about it. I'm using the white ones on my Stamp-A-Stack cards, so that's why they are. I use the gray ones here. The classic matte dots are another thing that are retiring. I use them here just with the gray so that you could add some embellishments, but any little embellishment might work on there. And even without an embellishment, I think it looks okay. And what do you think? There's card number one. Super easy, right? And there's just with the different designer papers in the background, but it kind of just gives you a choice on what you want it to be, right? Cute. Okay, so there is card number one. Easy and done. All right, so then card number two was a little harder. Card number two was a little bit more steps involved in this one. So this is the card. I saw an idea online that was very similar to this. I kind of cased it from that. It was different colored background, maybe. I don't think it was a pool party background, card background. I think it was might have been Pebbled Path, more of a grays. So I changed it up just a little bit, but I did kind of case the idea or copy the idea from somebody I saw online. So I just loved it though. I love that collagey, vintagey look on there. And then the gold, can you see that gold distress paper? So this is what it looks like. It comes in a 12 by 12 sheet. This stuff is gorgeous. You get two sheets, 12 by 12 sheets in a pack, and it is retiring. So if you like to have that little bit of accent of gold or color, this is paper to kind of stock up on before it's gone, because it just gives it a little bit of extra pizzazz on your card. All right, so let me show you what we did here. All right, so I've got a card base, standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5. I have got some crumb cake pieces and some white pieces, lots of little pieces here. All right, so I've got 2 pieces of white. And when I put this together, they're actually 2 different sizes. One is going to be for the inside and one is going to be for the front. So I don't confuse it later. I'm going to go ahead and put my white piece on the front now. That way I'm not tempted to stamp on it later by mistake. And all of a sudden my glue has decided to stop working. You know how it is whenever you're on camera and all of a sudden something doesn't go your way? That seems to be me this evening. You know I'm going to push that a little too hard and everything's going to come out flying out of that glue. Usually I can get it. Come here. All right, hold on, folks. Gotta grab. Hold on. Hold that thought. Okay. I don't want to get glue all over my project. I'm not quite sure why. One minute it was working and the next minute it was not. Just little liquid glue. Let's see here. Maybe I have another bottle around here somewhere that might work. Let's try this one instead. Hey, how about that? There we go. Liquid glue. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I am a fan when it wants to work. When it doesn't want to work, then I'm like, what the heck is going on? Okay, so there is, just change that out there. There we go. All right. Now I had a piece of paper and what I did was I went ahead and I stamped the leaf pattern from this set. Grab it again for you here so you can see it. It's this one. So I stamped that twice, and then I'm going to use some Granny Apple Green blends. And I use the light and the dark. Sorry, I have glue on my hand now. I use the light and the dark, and all I do is I go through with the light first. And I leave white space. I mean, I leave it kind of like artsy looking to me. It doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to go straight to the edges because you can always add in more shading later. So I just put a base of the light color marker down first when it comes to the Stampin' Blends. Just like that. Nothing fancy, just a layer of white or a layer of the light. And then what I do is I bring in my dark and I kind of run the dark right up like that vein, right up the center of those leaves. Because I know that's where it's going to kind of be the darkest. So I just draw a line. Then what I do is I know it's going to be darker down here towards the bottom. And you see that these lines are already kind of built in for you on the leaf. So all I'm doing is just adding some lines to go with it. Nothing crazy, nothing special. And then I just come back in with the light, just kind of scribble them in a little bit, just to kind of keep coloring. And blend in those shades so that I get that. Isn't that pretty? And it's super easy. Don't overthink this. When it comes to the Stampin' Blends, do not overthink it. Light, dark, light. Light to put down your base, dark to add where you want to have a little bit of highlighting, and then come back in with the light and just kind of blend it in a little bit. It's pretty easy to do, and it's pretty, it just takes a little practice. But the other thing is don't overthink it. It's your coloring, it's your artistic ability, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. So you're going to do 2 of those. I'm doing 2 of those. And I went ahead and I did some die cutting with some of the leaves. You can see those. And then I had also cut a banner that we're going to do some words on. This is going to be my inside, and then this is going to be my front. So here's what I'm going to start stamping first. Okay, so I'm bringing in crumb cake, and I have the field notes die or stamp first. I'm going to go ahead and do some crumb cake on here. I'm just lining this up towards my top left corner like that. Nothing crazy difficult. And then I'm going to bring in the grid, this little grid one. I don't think there's a right or wrong or an up or down on this. I think it's whatever way you want to do it. I'm doing this in the bottom right corner. And while I have this, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on my bottom corner of my envelope. And then also for my inside piece, bottom there as well, just to kind of coordinate it a little bit. That one is done. While I have the crumb cake, I'm going to go ahead and bring in this splatter stamp. I'm going to add some splatter to my envelope, to my inside, and then I'm also going to splatter a little along the top and the bottom. I'm not too worried about the middle because that's where all my leaves are going to end up going. So there is my splatter. But I like to have a little bit more color in there as well to kind of coordinate everything together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off quickly with my little Stampin' Scrub, or my chamois, I guess. And then I'm going to bring in Granny Apple Green with my little splatter again, and I'm going to add some green splattered dots in there just to give it a little bit more color. And then do that with my inside and my envelope, just so that it kind of all coordinates together. So that is going to go away. Yeah. Okay. And then this is going in here. This is my inside. There we go. I know some people have asked, like, how do you get them straight, right? Or some people are like, oh, I don't know how to get this to go in here straight. I hold it with my two fingers, kind of like this, right? So that my fingers, the paper's actually resting on the table, but it's on my fingernails. So my fingernails are actually right on the table, which allows me to kind of move this without it actually being on my paper yet. I can see where it's going. I can look at all my sides, and then I just kind of flip it down off of my fingers to know that I have it straight inside on all my borders. This guy's going to go on the front. Same thing. Just kind of hold it there. And flick that right off there. So that there is my front. And then it's just a matter of building how I want my leaves to go on. So because your border, your greeting, which I haven't stamped yet, is going to go right here in the middle. So when you're lining this up, you just kind of get an idea of where that's going to go. So I just added a little bit of glue here, glue here. That's the nice thing on that liquid glue, is that I do have a little bit of time to kind of move it around or manipulate it if I need to. Okay. For the other ones, I found it easier because they're so dainty, and trying to glue these down, I thought I'm just going to add glue like that. Just adding a line of glue right to my card. And I'm going to bring in the gold one, and it's just attaching at the bottom. I don't really need it to be super sticky. The greeting is going to help hold it in place as well. So I'm just adding that there. And then I'm going to bring in this one. I'm just creating this little collage of leaves in the center, just like that. And that glue that's in there is enough to hold that in place. Then what I would do is I want to stamp my greeting. And this comes from that set, that Notes of Nature set. And it says, today is all about you. Happy birthday. So I'm going to ink that. This is going to go on my banner. That. And then I'm going to use dimensionals in the back of this. Now I used quite a bit to kind of help pop this up a little bit where I wanted it to go. Remember, when you're using your dimensionals, you can use every piece of that dimensional sheet, right? Going to pull that off. And this is going to go right over the center of my leaves. There, and that's going to help hold all of those down and in place. Isn't that pretty? And it's super simple, right? It wasn't a hard card either. Went together pretty quickly. I'm going to use the Festive Pearls. The Festive Pearls come in the red. I think it's a soft succulent color, silver and gold. These are also going to be retiring with the annual catalog. And I'm going to bring in the gold on this and just add a couple of little gold pearls. Kind of decide where you want to put them. One there. There we go. So that those are my, there's my second, there's a second card. Pretty good, right? Quick and easy. It's just creating a little collage of leaves in the center, creating that background with those stamps from that set. So anything that has like that collage-y kind of look, you can create a nice background. Yeah, super cute. This one just said it's from the same set, just a little note to say hello. So either greeting works really well on here. Okay. All right, there is card number 2. We are moving right along. All right, card number 3. Bring this in here. Card number 3, and ink pads on this one. There's a little bit more stamping in this one. We're going to be using Petal Pink, Pool Party, Crumb Cake, Old Olive, and Pebbled Path on this one. Let me show you what this looks like here. Using the Oceanfront set. Oceanfront set. It's pretty. Ignore my little blobs there. I'm going to show you how I got that in a second, but that one kind of got a little blobby on me. Blobbier than what I would want it to be, if blobby is a word. Blobbier is a word. But it's some Wink Stella that we're going to add later. But there's your little oceanfront scene. We've got our matching inside and, of course, our envelope. So this is another one that goes together pretty quickly. It's got your pretty, your petal pink. Gosh, all of a sudden I was like confusing petal pink and pebble path. Petal pink paper. We have got our envelope, of course. This, I believe, is the contours. It's the contours. Scallop contour dies. They are also retiring. Scallop contour dies. That's actually what we're going to be stamping on. And that's going to go over top of this crumb cake piece. And that's going to go onto our front. But we're going to stamp on this one. We are going to need a mat for this. This is a photopolymer set. So we want to make sure that we have a mat. As far as the glass mat that you see below me, it was an offer that was available during Celebration. If you'd signed up to be a demonstrator during Celebration, it was the glass mat was something you could purchase. My understanding is that the glass mat, if there was excess available, they were going to be offering it for people to purchase. I have not heard anything on that yet. I will keep you posted if they decide that there were extras that they would offer them for purchase. I'll keep you posted if that comes around, because I actually have found that with the photopolymer, I don't really need a mat. The glass is enough surface. The glass works so well on the photopolymer that I actually have been able to stamp with it without needing a mat. But I'm going to use the mat tonight so you can see it and why you need it. Because remember, photopolymer they don't have the rubber like the regular clear stamps do. So these, you need that extra bit of cushion to make sure you get a full contact surface with the stamp. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some petal pink first, and this is going to be our sky. So I'm going to ink up our petal pink sky first. Right. Now, when you're stamping this, you can actually see how it'll change color. And I've got a little bit of a bar there, so I apologize. I'm going to try to get out of the way of the bar. So there, if I try it this way. So when I make contact with the paper, you're actually going to see the stamp and the change color. And that's how you can kind of see that you've gotten a good stamped clear image. If it kind of changes the color, you can actually see it making the ink making contact with your paper. That's how you know that you've gotten good coverage with a photopolymer set. Okay, so there's the sky. I'm going to now bring in the water, and this is going to be the pool party one. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to line that line up right with my sky. Sorry about the bar of color you've got there in front of you. There we go. I think it's my overhead light. I apologize. It's just hitting the right spot there. If I come up a little bit, maybe you don't have it as much. So there is my ocean. Okay, with pool party ink. The next thing I want to do is my sand, and I'm using crumb cake with this one. So I'm bringing in the sand, and I'm going to line that up. I think I'm pretty close there. There you go. Line that up right at the edge of my water like that. I actually could have come down just a little bit with it, but that's okay. That's all right. Next, what I wanted to do is add some boulders. And I'm bringing in my pebbled path. Now, pebbled path is kind of dark, and I didn't want them to be really dark boulders. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp off a little bit, and then I'm going to stamp them. And they're going right there. So there are my boulders, or my rocks on my dunes. Okay. Now, here is a little trick that I did. Now, for this one, I wanted to have some grasses. So I have the grasses that I want to put on it, but I didn't want them to be like on top of my stones. I want them to kind of be behind it. So what I did was I created a mask, and I have it here somewhere. You just have to figure out what I did with it. I had it in my hand like 2 minutes ago. There it goes. So what I did was I took a Post-it note and I stamped the boulders on the Post-it note, and then I fussy cut them so that this is going to match right up with my boulder or my rock. I keep calling it a boulder. And this one is going to line up with the second one right there. Because what I wanted to do is create a mask so that now when I stamp my grass, the grass looks like it's coming from behind the stones. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want them to be like on top of them. So by creating the mask, I'm going to go ahead and ink up my old olive here. And I'm going to stamp one kind of high, like that. I'm going to ink again and bring this one in and stamp it a little lower. So it just looks a little more full, right? And without moving the mask, I'm going to keep the mask there. I'm going to bring in these little wheat type grasses. Bring in my crumb cake again. And this time I'm going to put those right about there. But by keeping the mask, so you can see them here, right, where I stamped. And when I remove the mask, it looks like those are behind my stones. And it just kind of gives it that little bit of extra, like it's not it just creates a better little looking image, I think. Okay, so that is my front. While I have some ink out here, I'm going to go ahead and do my envelope to match, and I need my sand. Where did you go? Right there. I'm going to do the sand here. Okay. And I have a piece of basic white for the inside. I'm going to do the sand again. I'm going to bring in my grass and my old olive. Pretty. And then crumb cake again to do the grasses. There we go. Easy, right? Quick, easy. There is my inside. This is going to go here. So you'll have to let me know if you have any of these sets. If you've used them yet. I'm going to get rid of that. If you have used them yet, if you haven't used them yet, or if you think this is something you might want to get before they're gone. So remember, the last chance list officially starts April 9th. So it would have started yesterday, the last chance list. The sale officially starts. The last chance list has actually been out for about a couple weeks now. But the actual sale starts on April 9th. For anybody that is interested in getting any of those items before they are gone. So I'm going to put these two together. I'm just using some glue. Yes, you have to tell me if you have any of these sets. Are they keepers? Do you sets that you would hold on to for a while? This ocean one, I actually kind of like want to kind of use it more. I think it's really pretty. I'm going to add... Imagine all the colors that you can do with it. Add a sun. Like if you had like a little punched out a circle, you could add a sun right there. Sunset. All right. I thought about like hand drawing birds, but I didn't know if I could do it well enough. So I was like, I don't know that I can do that, hand draw them. If I had a stamp, I'd probably stamp some birds up there, but I don't know that I could hand draw them. I know it's pretty easy. I mean, it's just a matter of like kind of doing like a little V, an upside down V or something. But I thought, I'm not talented that. I'm not that talented to try that. All right. So I'm using thanks. I'm going to use some crumb cake. And I'm stamping that kind of towards the left side because, again, I might shorten this up a little bit. I kind of like it there. I'm just going to take it and shorten it up just a little. Okay. Use some dimensionals to pop this up. Otherwise, the card is pretty flat. I like it going right in between breaking up my skyline there. Kind of like that. And then the last thing I had was I did use a little bit of linen thread to tie a bow. There we go. And then I just added that with a glue dot. This one I'm going to put actually beside the grating right there. Just have this kind of going sideways here against it. Like that. Oops, wrong scissors. There we go. My linen thread's being a little crazy there, but you get the point. So there is one card versus the other. Now, I thought, of course, the beach, when you're at the beach, it always sparkles and shines and shimmers and all of that. And I thought, we need a little bit of bling on here. Just something to give it some shine or shimmer like we do when we're at the beach. So that's where I brought in the Wink of Stella to add a little bit of that shimmer to it. So let me show you what we did. I had done this ahead of time. So Wink of Stella, when you get it, right, you just squeeze, you'll see the glitter or the shimmer come down through the tube and then down through your brush, right? But when you're done with this, when you squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and you can't squeeze anymore, it's almost like it's out of the shimmer that's inside. There actually is a ton of shimmer still in this little tube. So what you can do is, and you can see I kind of keep mine marked so that I know which ones are which. But what I do is I just take, you can actually spin this off. And then this little barrel right here, you can grab a hold of that black piece. I can do it here with my fingernail here. When you grab a hold of it, this tube actually comes out. And what you can do is you can, in that barrel, you can add a little bit of like just liquid alcohol, like the 70% or the 90%, just a little bit of alcohol in that tube. You don't need a lot. Don't fill it. Just a couple drops is usually enough to get you going. And then you just replace the tube, put this back on, and then usually I put my cap back on and I give it a little shake, right? Or I might like shake it in between my fingers, and I've got this all over my hand now. But what happens is you have to be very careful. As you can see right here, it's really loose, right? Because this is pure alcohol or wet. It's just like water that's going to run out of there. You see it's already dripping, right? I'm not even squeezing, it's just coming right out. But the nice thing about that is that it makes your brush really wet. So I can go ahead and just give it a nice little kind of flick with my finger. That one worked a lot better than the other one. The other one the other night was a little gloppy, because it was like almost too much liquid in it. This one, it came out a lot better. This one just has a little bit, see it there? Just a little bit of shine. And that's the goal I was looking for. So it's one of those things where you want to be careful because it can get like that, right? It's not, but I don't mind it. I don't hate that, right? But this one is better because it just gives that just a little bit of shine. So be very careful if you choose to do that because it is like pure liquid coming out of there. Okay, so our cards tonight was this one, and this one. So if you're placing an order with me during the month of April, and it's a $30 minimum order, then you would qualify to get these cards in the mail. And we are at about 48 minutes. So I always like to try to keep our video to just under an hour because I don't want to keep you that long. It's just to give you an idea what we did in club, share some little tips and ideas, what we did. If you missed club this month, if you missed the in-person club, please, now you know what we did and how we did it, and I'll get your cards to you. But if you're around this area and you'd love to attend in person, we would love to stamp with you. So and if you have any questions or need anything, especially like a new catalog, let me know. All right, everybody, have a fantastic evening and a good rest of the week, and enjoy the last chance list, and new catalog is on its way. Can't wait. We'll be stamping with new catalogs next month. All right, bye, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.